Good afternoon to you. You're listening to God at Work on WMPQ The Light 95.9. I'm Jan Markowitz, and I'm excited to introduce my guest today, Lisa Arnold. She's the director of Caged No More, and the DVD is out now, and it's a film rated PG-13. Caged No More exposes the horrifying reality of one of the most profitable and fastest-growing crimes, human trafficking. It's so sad. Every 30 seconds, someone becomes a victim of human trafficking. And globally, 27 million people are trafficked each year, with 1.2 million of those being children. Boy, this is just amazing how this can even be. But what made you decide to get involved with a project about human trafficking?
Well, Jan, it was because I thought it was a third world country offense. I had no idea that it was happening in the U.S., especially so much. And when I talked with the writer of the novel, Molly Vinsky, and understood that not only is it in the U.S., but it's in almost every city, and it's happening right in my own backyard, I knew that I needed to do what I could to raise my voice. So my partner and I got together, and we decided we're going to create the script where things are suggested, they're not shown, so that we can get this in front of as many people as possible. It is appropriate for ages 13 and up. We encourage parents to watch this with their young children, their 13, 14, and 15-year-olds, because they'll be entertained by this movie. It is a fictitious story loosely based on many different victim stories, but it shares with them true statistics about trafficking, and at the end of it, that they understand that, boy, it is happening in my own town, and I need to be educated about it. I need to do something about it. So it's a very empowering film, and we're very grateful about that.
Well, Lisa, we just saw on the news here on our television just a couple days ago of a woman who had to fight off a man who actually was in a department store where she was with her teenage daughter, and he tried to drag her daughter out of the store. The mother fought him off, and then as he was running out of the store, there was actually a police officer who was off duty who caught him. So by the grace of God, he wasn't able to get away with that. But these type of things are happening, like you said, all the time. And what ages are more at risk for girls and boys?
Here in the U.S., it's 10 to 13-year-old boys and 11 to 14-year-old girls.
Wow.
So now you understand why the conversation has to start in the home, because you can't wait for them to hear about it or understand about it later in their life. They're at great risk now, and they're very vulnerable. And it's not just runaways that this is happening to. It's happening to all types of families. One of my executive producers was on vacation, very luxurious area of Destin, Florida, and his daughter was targeted right in front of their beach house.
Wow.
So it can happen anywhere at any time. And I will tell you that kids are extremely vulnerable to this. Number one, because they're on social media without guidance a lot of times, but they're speaking to anyone and everyone. They're making contact. There was a woman who went to our movie when it was in theaters and left feeling, just had that check in her spirit. Something was wrong. She went home. She got on her daughter's computer. Then her daughter had been talking with a man online. A bus ticket had already been purchased. She was about to be taken. So we've got to start talking about it. Our kids are disappearing right before our eyes. And, you don't want to scare your audience, but at the same point, you want them to be empowered and be educated. And secondly, as a filmmaker, this is what I can do. This is how I can raise my voice. But all of us can make a difference in this fight. You're doing your part on the radio and speaking out about it. School teachers can go to their principals and say, we need, to talk to our students about this and get involved. And churches can demand that their pastors get involved and lead the way on this, and as parents, we can educate our children.
And one way to do this is by getting this DVD and sharing it. So how will our listeners get your DVD? Caged No More.
The DVD is released now, and it's in Walmart stores and Christian bookstores across the country. If you want, and it's a great way to pass this on and get, the movement going. We also have the live event tour that is happening all over the country. So if a church or a school or university or organization in your community wants to really raise awareness, we can come show the film, and then we do a live panel discussion and talk about trafficking and what it is and how it's happening in that community. So we're trying every way we can to equip and educate our audiences. There are free resources on our website at CageNoMoreMovie.com. You can also find out more about the live event. Churches can download a 4-week study guide for their youth if they want to take it a step further and look at it biblically, because this is slavery. This is a modern-day form of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So what does the Bible say about that? What does the Bible say about honoring women and children? So they can even take it a step further and really discuss it.
I'm talking with Lisa Arnold. She co-wrote and directed the Caged No More. Also, you co-wrote and directed God's Not Dead. You're the co-producer for God's Not Dead.
I was a co-producer for God's Not Dead. Yes, absolutely.
And that was a great film as well. I did see that. So I highly recommend that families, churches, everybody who need to educate themselves get this DVD, Caged No More, again, available at Walmart, Amazon.com, and Christian bookstores. And, of course, we always love to support our Christian bookstores, so I want to encourage you to go there. But, Lisa, what else can we do to help to combat this problem?
I think all of us have influence through social media. So that is one great way that we can use our voice, use our influence, and really make a difference. So, all day long we're posting about this event and that event and what we're, going to a movie today and doing this. Let's take it a step further. Let's do something really empowering with that. Put some quotes up. Every 30 seconds, someone is trafficked. Think about that. This is the fastest growing crime in the world. And, one of the rescuers that I spoke with, Tony Sparks, I said, why is it the fastest growing crime in the world? Can you explain that to me? Why has it even surpassed drugs? And he said, it's very simple. A drug can be sold once. A child or a woman can be sold up to 50 times a day.
Oh, my.
So you think about that, and now you understand why it's growing so horrifically.
Oh, my. It is just so sad. Definitely need to be watchful, educated, and, oh, my goodness, in prayer for these dear ones that have been already put through human trafficking. Many have not even been returned home, right? They're lost?
That's right. There's so many that need to be rescued. And, we partnered with over 500 anti-human trafficking orgs for this movie, and they are our champions. I am so in awe of what they're doing. Not only are they out there rescuing our children, but they are in the restoration for our children. Mm-hmm. And that is, everybody talks about the rescue. That's the flashy part. That gets the news part. But the restoration is the hard, long journey to bring them back to life. And so you're talking about physical restoration. You're talking, spiritual, emotional, mental. It is, it's just a battle, and it takes so long. And so, you talk about what can we do? Well, let's resource these organizations because they need our help. If you're a businessman, help them with your resources. If you can volunteer in some way, do that. But definitely reach out to them because the work that they're doing is so powerful. And there is no, win in this without the restoration. It's not just about the rescue.
Can you tell us a couple of success stories, or at least one where a child has been rescued, and tell me how you see God working through all this?
Yeah, I think every time a child is rescued, it is a great win, and we're so grateful. I want audiences to understand that this is a hard journey, and there was a family I met in Sacramento, and this was at a 4th of July celebration, so a community celebration. The parents were right there with the girl. They felt safe, obviously, and were having a good time. They were approached by another young girl, and the girl asked their daughter, complimented on her outfit, asked her where she got it, said she was new to the community. Could we exchange phone numbers and maybe meet up so you could introduce me to a little bit of our community? And they did. And this all happened right in front of, the parents. And the next day, the girls met up at the mall. Well, that girl had been hired by a pimp.
Oh, my.
and their daughter was taken.
Oh.
So they're very clever how they're getting to our children. And don't think, they're hanging where our children are. So if they're at the malls, they're at Target stores, they're at, the theaters, they're at sometimes even our churches. So we have got to understand that now. They got their daughter back 23 hours later.
Praise
but
God.
in 23 hours, that poor child was just abused and tortured and drugged. And, it's just, it things can happen so quickly, and you're not even a missing child until it's 24 hours later.
Oh, so then what they go through in that 24-hour period, like you just said, it's just awful.
Yes. But now I've spoken with many of the survivors, and that they will go out and share their stories, and they will reach out, and that they've reached full restoration. That God can turn anything around. Especially, I don't know if you're familiar with Nancy Alcorn at Mercy Multiply, which used to be Mercy Ministries, but they just changed their name. Met two amazing girls that were in her program. We showed this we did a private screening for their organization, and, to hear their story and how they were fully restored. And one of them was even sold by their parents.
Oh, my.
But God can turn anything around, and if we're willing and to let Him heal us. And so we know that restoration can happen, and we know that there are amazing Christian and different orgs that are putting in the time and the effort to bring restoration to these girls. And so it is so wonderful to hear them get their lives back and then carry on the battle. They're not leaving it behind where you would think you would never want to hear that word or talk about it again. They are in the field, trying to do something about it to save other people.
Oh, God bless them for that. And
and isn't that what God brings? He makes beauty from the ashes.
Yes, He does.
And we all walk through things, in a sense, so that we can help others.
That's right.
So they're doing exactly that.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that, and it just breaks my heart to think that anybody, any child, has to go through such a terrible thing. But I thank you so much for making us aware and for taking the time to make the DVD and spend time with us today to share how God's working and how we need to get to work to do more to protect our children and be aware. And this is a great way to do just that, to be educated by getting Caged No More, the DVD. And Lisa, please tell us again how they can get it.
Yes, you can buy it online at Walmart or Amazon, or you can go in stores at Walmart, or you can go to any Christian bookstore and find it. The video streaming will follow in about 60 days beyond that. And then go to more information and find our resources at CagedNoMoreMovie.com.
And what plans do you have coming up in the future? Anything you can share with us about?
Oh, we have a great project. We have Camp Cool Kids that will be coming out within the year. That is a great family and friend film. And then we also have In God We Trust, which is another film that we're in pre-production for that we'll be filming soon. So we are continuing to make movies that inspire, encourage, and challenge people in a positive way. And so we're thrilled to be a part of this industry and to be able to share amazing stories that go beyond the screen.
Thank you so much for being my guest today, Lisa. It's a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you for all that you're doing, serving the Lord this way. And I just pray He blesses you abundantly.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful being with you.
You can find out more by going to CagedNoMoreMovie.com. You've been listening to God at Work on WMPQ The Light 95.9.